What's, in your opinion, the perfect length for an underwater film?
I don't know, you're talking about short or long?
That's what I'm asking you. What's a good length for an underwater film?
120 seconds.
Okay. How do you feel about 42 seconds?
Could be a really nice highlight.
Shall we check it out?
Sure.
Hi and welcome back to the channel, guys, and another episode of reviewing your underwater films with Sebastian
And Matthias.
Wow, like we talked about this before.
Yeah, nice.
It's great to have you back here with us for today's review. Today we are reviewing a video which is only 42 seconds long, and I think this is quite a first time for us here on the channel. I think we haven't had a video that was this short that we reviewed within this series previously. So you've got all the information about the person and the video. Do you care sharing it with us?
Of course.
Nice. You're such a nice person.
I know. You begin to realize that. That's good. So today's video is from Ivan Torres. And he filmed his video with a Sony A7 Mark III, I think. Yep, Mark III.
Okay.
And under video lights from Scuba Lamp.
Nice.
And that's it.
That's it. Do we know what it's about?
Yes, I could tell you, but it's nicer if you just check it out.
You don't want to spoil it, right?
No, I don't want to spoil it.
Okay, fantastic. So, well, then let's have a look at this this piece made by Ivan. Very nice.
Pretty cool.
Thank you, Ivan, very much for your submission. Nice, crisp, and short, which is fantastic because it gives us an extra minute to talk about our sponsor of today's video and the series here. The company Divefork is the first company that actually achieved something quite remarkable. They created a membrane on a smartphone housing that lets you use the smartphone's touchscreen even while being underwater. Me personally, I use their technology, their smartphone housing in a variety of different ways. When I'm just diving for fun, I normally have my iPhone in there and I just use this as a nice and small compact system to capture my underwater adventures. When I'm underwater professionally, then I use their housing with my smartphone in there as a monitor for my larger rig, the Red Komodo, which works like a dream as well. Divefork, they don't only sponsor this video, but they also give you guys a extra 6% discount if you want to try out any of their gear that they're producing. There's a link down in the video description below, which already has the discount embedded in the link. So by clicking on that, selecting whatever you need from the Divefork web shop, and then going to the checkout, that discount will be applied directly and automatically. Thank you so much, Divefork, for sponsoring this series here and also for supplying this great discount to our audience. And thank you, Ivan, for having such a short film, which gave me the option to include this little speech about Divefork in this video here. Now, enough with self-promotion and thanking our sponsors. Let's get back to Ivan's video. Really cool idea, Ivan. Keeping that black and white, keeping it very raw, and I personally, really enjoyed the good variation of shots that you've used within like only those 42 seconds. And also I find it a really, really good idea that you had the diver interaction with the manta included in the film there as well. So that was something that I personally really enjoyed, and I think that made or gave an extra value to the film there. Now, we talked about the 42 seconds before. You said the perfect film length is 120 seconds. Now, what do you say now? How do you feel about those 42 seconds?
Perfectly fine.
Perfectly fine?
Yeah, I think, well, if you can keep the attention of your audience, and Ivan did that with the footage, it's fine. It can be 30 seconds, 42 seconds, 60 seconds, whatever it is. I think it's harder to keep in a short piece to give you a lot of nice footage. Because if I know it's 42 seconds, I'm not expecting one clip 42 seconds. I expect something happening. But very well achieved. And if I remember correctly, we talked about the black and white thing in a couple of videos before, the creative idea. I think it's pretty cool. It's a very cool idea to put something on stage in black and white.
Yeah, I agree. I think this is quite creative, Ivan. Making it, developing this piece in the way that you did, and I really enjoyed it. I think it was a really fun piece to watch. What else did you notice? What else do you want to talk about?
I want to talk about the shot quality. We talked before about the length, and I think it's very important if you're doing such a short piece, then the quality standard has to be very high. It's like you cannot allow any minor mistakes, because like it's very condensed and I'm expecting the best footage. Talking about that, I think the shots were cool. They're nothing, I don't want to say extraordinary, but they were good shots, nice shots. But at the end, there was this one shot with the diver, like drifting towards the manta.
The long one at the end.
The long one, yeah. And I think it's a pretty cool shot. I mean, itself, the frame is pretty cool, and the diver drifting to him. But first of all, it's too long. It takes, I don't know, a third of the whole video. And we have, I think, 2 focus shifts or 2 focus huntings of the camera in this one clip. And this is... And because it's obvious. Yeah. It's not like it's a minor thing and then you cut away. Yeah. It's like it's doing 2 times and you can really see it. So it's such a cool shot. What are you doing? I don't know. Redo it. Don't use it. It's hard. It's really hard. I understand. If you don't have any other shots, it's hard. But maybe it's a good thing to start using manual focus, just to avoid stuff like that.
Yeah, just lock the focus in that moment when you know you have that shot, and you want to keep the focus there for a little longer than just a couple seconds to lock the focus so it won't shift. Which again is not easily achievable depending on what camera type you're using and the housing that you're using. Some cameras will have like a little sort of switch that you can go from manual to automatic. Others you'll have to dig into the menu to switch between manual and automatic. So that might be not very practical. But I agree. And I also think that shot you should either just cut it so you can't see the focus shifts, keep it shorter, use just the part of the shot that is not, where the focus is not shifting, but don't keep it in there like this. This is really... it's a pity that this was left in there like it was, because it's the last shot of your film, so it's the last impression someone gets from your work, and that's definitely not what you want. You don't want to have like a really intense focus shift twice on the very last clip of your clip of your film. So that's definitely something I agree that I would have changed there as well. Something else that I would have changed a little differently, would have done a little differently, is the start to the film. I think it is too abrupt. As soon as we press that play button, it starts right away. The music is right at the peak, and the frame is there, and we're right inside the film. Maybe that was intentional. Maybe it wasn't. I would probably try to ease into the film a little bit, even though I know it's short and you don't have any time to lose and all that sort of stuff. But still, I think a little fade in from black, like just use like a second or half a second to fade in, I think it would have worked better. The music, we can talk about this, whether it can, start with the first beat right at the peak loudness, or if you also want to ease in with the music. That's something that we can certainly, that can be discussed, but specifically with the visual, I would really do like a fade in or something, just so it's easier to start. Because this way, I felt that at the beginning, I felt like I missed something already because I was right in there, and I felt like, so maybe I've not gone all the way back to the beginning and started the film from the very beginning. So that's another thing there, Ivan, that I would be careful with the beginning. Because it's what people see first when they start playing your videos. Right. Do you have anything else that you've written down that you would like to pass on to Ivan?
No. I'm good.
You good?
I'm good.
Okay, good. I've got one more thing that I would like to pass on. Again, a little suggestion there. You've used speed ramping a couple times throughout the film. And speed ramping, I really enjoy. I really like speed ramping, the technique and the look of speed ramping, especially in a shorter piece. I think it can add a lot of dynamic to the piece and would make it, or can make it, just stand out a little more. The thing is, though, that speed ramping, it is kind of a bit of an art form to itself, because you need to have the timing spot on for the speed ramping to really work, in terms of being, on the beat of the music, and it's got to be timed properly so that it's not speeding up too slow or too quick. That it's a lot of work that goes into creating these speed ramps that in the end, it's like a fraction of a second, but it takes, I don't know, half an hour to create that by just playing around with it and getting to the right proportions and the speed and everything. And from like what I've seen, I think that you could really work on these speed ramps. I don't think that they're perfected in this film. In like a few instances, it seemed to me like the timing was just a little off, and it doesn't have to be much, but if it's a little off,
a few frames, and
it's off, and you can feel it, you can see it. So that's maybe also something, Ivan, that I can pass on to you, or I would like to pass on to you, is if you use the speed ramps, really put the effort in there to making them fit the music, the piece, the speed and everything, so that they flow. You create a flow within your film using those speed ramps. And sound effects. Whenever I use speed ramps, I also like using sound effects to enhance that motion of the speed effect and what we're seeing with what we're hearing. So that's maybe also something that you can think about trying out next time, using some sound effects on a piece like this. I think this would work quite well.
Sorry. Yeah. It worked quite well with the second movement of the mantis fin. There was, I think it was the music like doing some kind of whoosh sound, but yeah, the others would be nice to have it. And when you're talking about the speed ramping, I was thinking about how would I handle this last shot if I have no other shot? And one thing, I'm not sure if it's possible because of the framing and so, but maybe an option is to do it a jump cut. You cut out the pieces where the focus shift happens. I mean, you have to trade off that you have to zoom in or shift a little bit your framing just to sell the coming in closer. But if you don't have any other option, instead of leaving the focus in it, just because I think the music is quite, quite energetic to do it. I'm not 100% sure at the end now if it's really working, but it would be one option just to get away from a long shot with problems in between.
Yeah. I can see that too. Yeah, sounds like a reasonable thing to try out. Yeah. Excellent. Anything else?
Spontaneous. Yeah, I was thinking about the.
Don't have anything else, and then he comes up, digs up all that stuff.
No, I was reading in an email of Ivan, and when you were talking about the easing in at the beginning, I totally agree. You need something to ease in into video, in my personal opinion. If it wasn't his intention to start it, that's fine. But I would say as well, ease in. But for me personally, again, to round out that piece, I would increase something like a title. And I was reading his email, and he said it was his first time to dive with mentors. And
Okay.
I don't know, maybe like the description of this short film would be like my first experience with a mentor, something like that. And I don't know, create a title which is just written on the screen, like I don't know, first mentor, whatever, yeah, something which is catchy, and then you do the same thing, you ease in it, but it gives it a whole package. You start with something and you close it and say, here, this is my first mentor experience in black and white. 42 seconds of joy. I don't know, something like that. Just came into my mind. But yeah, the takeaway is the easing in helps to get you started.
Interesting. Yeah. Something that you can definitely try out on one of your upcoming underwater video projects.
Yeah.
Ivan.
We're looking forward to seeing them.
Yes, we are. Yeah. So, did you dig anything else?
No, I'm good now.
So then, let me sum up quickly what we talked about and what we came up with for you, Ivan. We really enjoyed the length of your video. Really enjoyed that. And also the creative idea of producing the whole piece in black and white. I also really enjoyed, I guess you too, the variety of shots and the integration of the diver into the whole film, giving us some more perspective as on how big the mantas are and how that interaction between mantas and humans, what they can look like. So that's really nice. Stuff that you could work on for your next film is be more deliberate and think a little more about how you want to start your film. Both that easing in is more of our preference. It doesn't have to be that way. That's personal preference, but we both prefer to have a bit of an ease into the film. When you pick your shots for the film, if it's such a short piece, be really sure to take the best possible shots that you have. Don't settle for any mediocre shots, and definitely no shots that have any flaws in it, like a focus shift or anything like that. So just keep that in mind. And when it comes to the speed ramping, also maybe put a little extra work and effort into creating those speed ramps in a way so that they create a flow throughout your film, and maybe even use some sound design to enhance those speed ramps a little bit and give like a complete immersive experience of the entire film that way. So those are our tips and recommendations that we can pass on to Ivan. We hope that they are useful for you and that you can make good use of them in your next underwater film. What if someone else wants to submit their?
Oh. Well, guys, if you want us to review one of your films, please send us an email to contact@matthiaslebo.com. Put the link to your video in the description and in the email, and then put a little description in it.
We'll put it in.
Now you got me. And please put some information in the email. What kind of camera you used, what dive site you were diving, and lamps and other equipment you used, just to give us a little perspective.
Yeah, and please forgive my friend. It's already fairly late here. It's Thursday night, so you'll forgive it.
Oh, thank you very much.
Yeah. And that pretty much sums it up. We'll leave the link to Ivan's video and his YouTube channel down in the video description below. So if you want to go and check out any other work from him, feel free to do so. Other than that, there's not much more to say than to wish you a fantastic week, hopefully filled with some great underwater adventures. And we really look forward to seeing you back here on the channel for the next episode of reviewing your underwater films in 1 week's time, next Thursday. Same time, same place, you know the drill, and we're really looking forward to seeing you back here. Have a great week, guys. See you next Thursday.
Bye-bye.
Bye.